May profits be upon you. How are you this weekend? How did you do this week, this past week? Listen, it was a little funky. It was the last day, last week of the quarter, last week of the month. Things were a little wonky sometimes. Uh, uh, Leave a comment in the comment section. Leave some feedback and let me know how your week went and if you were able to use the futures perspective that I gave last week. All right. If you were able to use it to your advantage, let me know if you're benefiting from the analysis now. The first thing we're going to look at right now for the week up, the week coming, all right, is we're going to look at the RT money meter. The RT money meter tracks the rate of change in each individual currency future, the futures. All right. And uh, it tracks that rate of change over a period of 15 weeks, all right, about 3 months. And we can see by looking at it, how strong each individual currency actually is. What is it looking like on an individual basis, right? And that's the benefit, man. I update this thing every week, all right? I always do it on the weekends because the markets are closed. There is no more fluctuation. This is the time to check them and rate them. All right. So what are the noteworthy things? The noteworthy moves are US dollar went from 482 last week to 680. The rankings, let me briefly say the rankings didn't change over the week, but the currency strengths and weaknesses that changed. Look at the CAD. The CAD and Swiss, both at minus 51, minus 91 to minus 221, minus 273. They got a little weaker, but this is why I have 3 weeks up. All right. You can see that they went from 217 and minus 326, and they were moving up, right? They were moving up 151, minus 151, minus 191, and then back down. So I want you to see the fluctuation there, okay? And you're going to relate it to the fundamentals, CAD, Swiss. What kind of currencies are these? Risk currencies and risk currencies and commodity-based currencies. Oil. If oil's going up, CAD usually trails. If oil's going down, CAD usually trails, right? Look at the euro. Euro went from 270 to minus 544. Now, this is significant. This is a significant drop, a significant show of weakness here. And we're going to be looking to put this against stronger pairs, especially ones that are trending up. Hello. Okay. And Aussie dollar minus 484 and to minus 804. That is a huge drop. That is a significant change. Again, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put it up against stronger pairs. Hello, right? Pound minus 575 to minus 811. Another hard drop. Now look at where it came from. Minus 747, right? And then a little up, nice little tick up, and then back down hard. All right. So what are we really looking at? What we're really looking at is hello. There you go. Oops, didn't mean to do that. All right. What you're really looking at is I got you. I got you. Oh, I got you. You're looking at a move down, a move back up, and a move down. Big impulse, correction, impulse. That's what I want you to see. I went through a lot of trouble to get you to see that, right? My bad. Anyway, so what do we have here? NZD had a huge drop, minus 727, minus 722 last week to minus 10. All right, that's another one. But look how it came. Look how it came. The week prior, minus 827 to a nice little tick up to minus 722, and then a hard move down to minus 10. So again, we are looking at impulse correction and impulse, right? And the yen is stayed weak, it's the weakest, and the Bank of Japan is going to keep it weak. That is their policy right now. They're going to keep buying up bonds and stuff, and just keep this thing devalued. All right. But I do notice it was minus 1273, and it's moved up a little bit to minus 1162. Now, this one came from really weak to a little move up. And this week looks like, from this week to this week, we had a move up. From this week to this week, that move continues, right? We didn't even get that pullback. It's just continuing. The thing is, you're not going to see that clearly until you look at the individual currency futures. And that's why I'm here. Okay, so let's start with the US dollar, futures. Okay, now what do we notice? Oh, come on, man. Now you want to write? All right. We have FOMC coming July 6th. We have ADP July 7th, NFP, non-farm payroll on July 8th. This is going to be a week-filled week coming up for the US dollar. So handle with care. All right, trade with care. All right, this thing could turn around on a dime. All right, I don't think it will though. Let me show you why. If we just look at how this thing is moved, we see the pull up, impulse, the correction, and then another impulse breaking the high. All right, then we get a hard move down, right? Boom. In this sequence, it's just a retracement, right? And then we break the high, the next move up, the next swing up, right? So we're still bullish. We have a correction. We move sideways a bit. And here we are. These are dailies, all right? And we can see there's a move to the upside. Even if we take a hard look, a close-up look of this past week, we can see the after the news and the numbers came in for, what was it, PMI manufacturing, the numbers were, did it come in lower? I just know that they weren't the greatest they weren't the greatest numbers for the US economy, right? And it made people look to remove money. I don't know. When it comes to fundamentals, I'll let you guys who do fundamentals do your thing. All right. I'm just going to explain the technicals. And here you can see that we actually made a higher high, but sellers came back in. We closed bullish on the last day, Friday. We closed bullish. Okay. And that's important to note. All right. And we did take out that high. I think we are on our way to take out the relative equal highs that was left because of that move. All right. But you can see the week was a very bullish week for the US dollar. All right. Starting from here, boom, 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 boom. All right. I think we had a pullback here and then a push higher. We may see a pullback coming this week to this area. We may see a pullback and then another push higher. But that's the pullback is there. And I'm looking at this area for maybe the start of the next rally. So we might see some. I'm looking for more bullishness. That's it. All right. I need some coffee apparently. All right. So I'm bullish on the US dollar. I'm looking for more bullishness. If price starts to come past here, if price comes past here, this is clean traffic to the downside to at least here. So just be careful, be wary of that. That's when I would start to think bearishly for the next week. All right, let's go to the Canadian dollar. All right, and what do we see here? I got this thing way too close. All right, see some sideways action, right? You see some sideways action. However, the highs are being protected. Okay, the lows, on the other hand, are being swept. Right, we protected that high. Actually, came into a zone here, right, at a supply zone here, and then you see this move down, leaving some relative equal lows there as a draw to price. Do I believe that price will eventually get it? Yeah, just don't know when. But after a very nice impulse to the downside here, this looks corrective, of course. All right. And you can see that we lost the momentum to the downside and we hit a zone, a lower time frame zone. I believe that's a 4-hour zone. All right. And you see the reaction to it here. All right. Price managed to close bearishly on Friday, but you see it, the reaction here, and you see how buyers came into this market. Do I think that price may see some more correction? I do. I actually do. So is that reflected in the Canadian dollar? Minus 151 to minus 221. It's not that much of a change. It's marginal. And you can see, oops, uh-oh, what did I just do? Hold on. All right, yeah. Yeah, I just did something, just affected the, the chart. Okay, so what I want you to notice is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this whole week sideways, and the reason why it's showing a little weakness because we hit a high on Tuesday, right? But it it uh, it ended up pushing back up, so it's kind of like a big nothing week. However, the signs are after coming up above this, we had a push down, push down. You know, I look for these, a break above that pullback high, and then a break above it. We came back down as a return to impulse here. I think we're on our way up. You know how I look at the markets. So that's what I'm looking for. Why won't this disappear? Okay, there you go. All right, so let's see what we got here. Wow, this thing is not doing what I would like it to do. Anyway, so I'm looking for some correction, maybe up to up at least very much to the 50% area, maybe a little correction. Maybe we take this high, but I think we're gonna this momentum from last week may continue up in the Canadian dollar. Let's look at the Swiss. The Swiss franc, we got a big drop, right? Let's not be fooled by these drops. All right. Let's not be fooled by the movements. Let's just look at the structure. We have a very bearish drop in a very bearish market, right? And you can see a big, come on, man. You can see a big correction here. So what do I like? What do I like? I like the fact that the moves are broad and easy to see. All right, you can see that we have a low made, and that low was not beat. All right, this low was preserved, and we took out that high. All right, so we should be looking for bullishness in this market. We already came back to this zone, rejected from it, all right, in this corrective action here. So what am I looking for? Am I looking for bullishness or looking for bearishness? I think the chart is telling us that the Swiss is, you see it last week, it was at minus 191, minus 273. It made a marginal move. All right. Again, remember, this is the daily. All right, this is the daily. And we can see, oops, last week last week, this was bullish. We were bullish the prior week, right? And we came up, made a high. This could be considered just a correction, and maybe we go up a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? So I am looking at this. I'm looking at the rejection from this area here. I'm looking at the fact that we took out a high. So I'm looking for more bullishness in this market. Yeah. All right. Is this what my favorite market going into this week? Not necessarily, because it's kind of doing a sideways thing. I'd like to see another high being made. All right. If price breaks this low here, if price breaks this low, this is clean traffic to the downside. And that means, you know, we could be looking at a bigger correction, right? Could make another higher high down here and then continue up. This could turn into a channel. And, but that's if it breaks this. I'd like to see price continue up. So let's see. Let's see. This is an interesting way to close that a bullish week. This candle here. So I'm hoping that this gives you some insight into the strength, the actual strength of that market. I don't know why I have this on here. All right. So this is the euro. This is the euro futures, right? Well, bearish market, easily identifiable as a bearish market, right? And we can see price comes down, has a nice little pullback. We break those lows, then we break that high, and we start saying, "Oh, are we going bullish?" All right. Well, it does a sideways movement here inside of this impulse, right? And then we get another drop. Now, along the way, we're breaking a demand zone, all right? And this one is still kind of in play because we didn't get a close below it, but you can see the correction after this impulse down, all right? You can see that correction there, all right? I like to see those bearish legs and bullish legs get corrected so I can determine bias, right? The directional bias. So we have this impulse, we have this correction. I'm looking for that next impulse. And I believe that we will be coming towards that low. All right, this low is weak to me. Why? Because it didn't create a new high. It said, I tried, but nah. So when you have weak lows, they're going to be targeted for liquidity. So you see how this candle made a lower low. Friday made a lower low as opposed to Thursday, right? You see the impulse down. This is the correcting candle here, and then we're moving further down. So I'm looking for more bearish action in the euro. All right. It's weak and getting weaker. Let's go to the Aussie dollar. I like Aussie dollar. Why? Because it's very weak. What makes it so very weak? All right. First of all, we have the RBA interest rate coming on July 5th. Make a note of that. All right. We're going to see. We'll see what they do with the interest rate hike, right? And the interest rates, whether they're going to hike it or not, or expecting to keep it the same. It's having a very conservative approach. But what we can see in this market is that it has been bearish, right? Kind of up and down. That price action wasn't hard, but each time it takes these lows out. And I have this one here marked because that's an important low. It broke the previous high, all right? And you see when price was last there, it took off, right? So to break it requires some doing, all right? And it makes me see this impulse, this correction. That doesn't look impulsive at all. It looks like we're losing steam to the downside, right? And then you see this reaction once it breaks structure. The important part I look at is that we broke structure and we got to close below that low. All right. I'm looking for this wick to be filled. I'm looking for more bearish action in the Aussie dollar. That's simple. It's a bearish market. I'm looking for more bearishness. Okay. And let's go to the pound, the British pound. This is very bearish. This has been bearish. There is no mistake about that. We see that we are taking out lows along the way, leaving highs. All right. Lows, very impulsive to the downside. We had a little recovery here. What do you call a brief respite, right? And then price takes liquidity, but this zone here, this supply zone, is still in play because price made a new impulsive leg to the downside, breaking structure. All right, this is an important part. This is an important part. All right, and you know it was going to get broken because it didn't create a new high. All right, it's weak. All right, all lower lows in a downtrend are weak because they didn't make a higher high, right? All right, so and when I say a higher high, not this one technically did, but it didn't close above that high, which shows the intent of price. A close above that high tells me price has an intent to go higher. All right, so here we are in this downtrend after a bearish impulse and after correction. Price lost all its momentum to the upside, right? But this is correction, impulse, correction. I'm looking for the next impulse. All right. You're doing wave theory, you know, hey man, boom, 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 boom. I mean, you know, what are we doing here? All right. So we did have a big reaction here, right? But when I see a wick and a body like this, all right, where the wick is more than 50% of the candle, all right, right around that area of 50%. I'm looking for that wick to get filled. I'm looking for these relative equal lows to get taken for liquidity. This is a weak low as it stands. All right. If we see price make a new high, then this becomes a strong low and one that is tradable. You understand? Tradable. Boom, 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 boom. But that's not the case right now. So I'm looking for this wick to get filled, price to come down. Okay. Let's go to the New Zealand dollar. And on the New Zealand dollar, what do we see? Bearish price action, right? You see the lows being taken out, all right? And I don't see any reason to think that price is going to turn around and make a V recovery. Now, we had a nice little upsurge. Put in the comment section now for you guys who follow fundamental. Why do you think you see this this push up on price on Friday? Huh? Write it in the comment section. Why don't you? Leave me some feedback on that. All right. The important part here, like the Aussie dollar, is the fact that we broke structure with a close below it. All right. And here is the fulfillment of that low, this low being broken. All right. We see the impulse after every break of structure. What do you expect? A return to impulse, right? Took the decisional was supply zone. And now we're heading down. I see that wick getting fulfilled, getting filled. I do. All right. Do I see some reason to think price is going to come up? And then it could pop up for a day and then come back down. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for lower lows. And finally, we come to the yen. All right. You know, the yen, we don't have to do a pan out, but I want you to see something on the yen. All right. Month after month of bearishness. All right. Why do I have these dates here? What does that say? It says major breakout area 2002 low. Let's look at this low, 2002. All right. Look at this neckline, folks. What are we looking at here? That's right. That's right. A head and shoulders. Okay. On a monthly level, monthly time frame level. All right. This is a macro level. And we have just broken a 2002 low, a 20-year low. Come on, man. This is very weak. The Bank of Japan is going to keep it weak. And I'm looking for more weakness to come for the next week. All right, now watch this. Be very careful. What did price do? It started the week bearishly, right? And then Thursday and Friday, we went bullish. 3 days to get to this low, 2 days to almost get back to where we started. All right, a big move sideways, which is reflected in our RT money meter. As you can see, my minus 1273, we moved up to marginally to 11, minus 1162. Got a little stronger because of those last 2 days. All right, just a little bit, but it's a sideways move. All right. So what is the plan? I'm looking for continued weakness in this market. All right. If you look at it from this perspective, we did take out these lows. We did get a corrective move, and then we took out the lows, right? And then we moved sideways. We're in this area of supply. I'm looking for price to round over and quite possibly go back into, head back to the bottom of this range it's in. We're nearing the, we may tap into the top of this range and then come back down. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm hoping that you benefited from this analysis of the futures of these individual currencies. And if you did, make sure you leave a like. Hit the like button right now, man. There's no reason not to. It takes half a second, maybe even just a little tiny thought in your head. Just click it and then subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can get notified of all of my updates, and do leave some feedback. Let me know how your week went last week, and if you can if you benefited from the analysis of the individual currency futures from last week. I'd like to hear from you. I will see you in the next videos. Hey, I got a bunch of videos coming out today on the individual currencies, so you want to check it. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.